So, let's see if I fully remember what happened last time. Our band of adventurers, the Telaria, having soon some odd jobs around the city of Sangan. It initially started with finding some information about a draconic creature that has been seemingly roaming around the outer skirts of the city in the surrounding forests. And you also took on a job to help out a farmstead with a small wolf problem. Setting out without Marine, who decided to stay back in case the weapons that you had ordered back in Ember had been delivered, you made your way to the farmstead, and through some conversation with the various wildlife and some good old-fashioned trekking, you were able to locate the wolves' little den area. After which, a combat ensued, resulting in pretty much all of the pack being decimated, barring a few which were able to escape. However, with your job done, you returned back to the farmstead and got your reward. Following on for this, you continued heading towards the last sighting of the Draconic creature, where you had stumbled upon a hunter's camp. This camp was inhabited by a small goblin girl known as Fur. Through initial questioning, she feigned any knowledge of this draconic creature, but through natural passive insight and generally good rolls by yourselves, you realize that she wasn't being truthful. Being backed into a corner, Fur decided to lead one of you, Mevalair, into the forest towards the draconic creature. Seemingly unarmed, barring a small gift from your mother hidden behind your back. And that is where we left off. So, Mevalair, Fur walks silently ahead of you, sort of occasionally looking back at you before, occasionally speeding up and slowing down as she slowly makes her way through the forest.
Okay. That's unusual. Why is she doing that?
Which part?
Why isn't she keeping even pace?
You're not too sure.
Insight.
Okay.
Fucking. Is she trying to confuse me? Is she trying to get me comfortable with, her suddenly jumping and then stopping? So.
Oops.
Oh, for some reason I had advantage up. 7.
It's hard to tell, really.
That is indicative of how this is gonna go. Alright.
Okay. So, you continue on in silence for a few minutes. Eventually, you hear Fur speak up, a voice not particularly loud, but loud enough for you to hear. You don't have to do this, you know. You could just let me go. Me and him, we could just, I don't know, find a place somewhere.
I can't quite do that until I know what this is. I already told you before, you running away isn't much of a plan if we don't have all the details.
You continue walking for a few more minutes before she stops in a clearing. She sort of looks around before she sort of reaches up to her hat and just takes it off. You see her ears sort of flop out slightly. The ears sort of drooping downwards. She sort of fluffs out her hat a little bit before she sort of starts reaching around. After she turns and says, do you have any water or anything? I left mine in the camp.
I'm gonna check another insight real quick.
Okay, what are you inciting?
Essentially, kind of like why she might be asking if she has any ulterior motive.
She doesn't appear to have any ulterior motive. It seems that she is generally just asking for some water. She has her hat sort of like held out, almost like a bowl.
Okay. Mev will hold out her water skin. I do.
Pour it into the hat. He hasn't had anything to drink for a while, so this will get him to come out.
Mev pours it in.
Okay. Pour it in. Eventually first stops you from like filling it to the fully, and so like heads over to a sort of small collection of rocks, which it takes her another minute or so, but she puts it in a way that water doesn't come pouring out, and she sort of like kneels down near it, just sort of like surveys the surrounding. She'll like turn back to you. Can you make a few steps back to the tree line? He's curious, but he's also cautious.
Make a quick perception check to see like if I can spot him.
Okay.
Is it dark right now?
You're in a clearing, and while you are approaching evening, you're still technically in the afternoon.
Okay, just wanted to check.
11.
11.
Not anything that you can see. Appears to be just a forest clearing.
Okay. Mev will take a few steps back.
Yeah. It's only about 3 or 4 steps back to the actual tree line. But eventually, as you sort of like stop, she turns back, sort of like looks out towards the other side of the clearing, and begins to say something. It's not a language you understand. It seems to be similar to the one that she said when she had the creature flee.
Mm-hmm.
But she seems to keep saying a single word and then whistles. And she does it a few times. After about the 4th or 5th time, you see movement near a fallen log. A creature is like timidly slinking out from behind it. The creature itself stands at maybe 1.5 feet at the shoulder. Its green scales appear to be caked in dried dirt and some fresh mud. Its head appears to be a bit more bulky than the elongated angular heads of dragons that you've seen drawings of, but you then notice on its back 2 very small, clearly still growing wings. You watch as the creature slowly walks forward and sort of like approaches fur. It looks down at the water-filled hat and sort of like leans in and drinks heavily from it before it sort of walks up to fur and sort of puts its claws on a shoulder, and you watch as fur sort of like brings it into a hug.
Firstly, for me, how many legs does it have?
4.
4. And it is scaly?
Scaly, yes.
Okay. Just checking real quick. I'm sure there's more I could ask, but I'll find out with time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mev watches this, and she's going to take just a step to kind of test the waters.
You watch as the dragon-like creature sort of like its had its eyes closed this entire time, and it just open. You see an emerald green eye just sort of like look directly at you, and it sort of like makes a few noises and begins to thrash. You hear Fur say something in, again, a language you don't understand. The creature still sort of like pulls itself away from Fur, and so like moves itself behind the little rocky outcropping.
Okay.
Keeps its eye on you, but
Mev is going to actually sit on the ground, and she looks at the creature, and then she kind of turns her head away, just to show, like, I'm not threatening.
Creature.
It.
Go on, you first.
It certainly looks draconic, but you say you don't know what it is?
I mean, it's got wings, 4 legs, tail, and all that stuff. Breathes. It kind of breathes fire.
It breathes fire. And she looks to Fur.
It's. I mean, look at how small it is. It's clearly not used to it, but it can do it.
I'm asking because I heard that based on the type, the breath changes.
Yeah.
It may give some insight into it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, he wasn't always green-scaled.
No?
No, I may have told a little lie there about a few things.
All right. Explain.
How do you explain something like this? At this point, the creature sort of like slowly walked forward, and it still gives you a wide berth, but it sort of like sits itself next to Fur. Yeah, how do you explain something like this? Where to begin? You just see that she's sort of like deep in thought, like a million things running through her head. Well, where do you want me to start then, I guess?
From the beginning, you do not have to worry about saying things cleanly. I will ask for clarification if I need it.
I live on an island a little bit just off the mainland, or, well, I did. And my family were killed in a dragon attack there. And a day later, sort of like looks down at the creature, he showed up and started following me around like a lost dog. And he still isn't like violent against me. The opposite. He, during my first times hunting, he protected me. But every time I tried to get rid of him, he either found a way back or for some reason I began to get a need to be near him. So it's not like I can abandon him, because if I stay away from him too long, then I start getting like the urge that I have to be with him. One time I threw, well, not threw him, I placed him down a ravine where he couldn't climb back up, and about a week later I was at the bottom of that ravine, seemingly sleepwalked there. And it's the same as when he dies. The creature like looks down at this. It isn't so much that he just randomly comes back. I can summon him back. It's not like I want to, but again, like, when I'm not near him, I get the urge to be, and it gets too much.
You are attached.
Not intentionally,
You've
but yeah, it seems.
You've obviously had some sort of magical imprinting on one another.
I can only assume so. I didn't know the first thing about magic before he showed up, and now all of a sudden it's I can now cast magic to bring him back, or a few other things.
Mev leans back, kind of thinking about this. You said he comes back and that he wasn't originally green. What was he before?
He was blue.
And blue.
Yeah.
And what is it like when he dies?
Like someone close to me's passed away.
Does he change color when he dies? Does he vanish? Is there a body?
I don't know. I never checked. There was a body when he died protecting me, but then when I came back, I didn't see any sign of a body. I don't know if it was a case of he eventually vanished, or if the wolves that killed him took him away.
Is he... I hear that dragons can speak mortal tongue. They have some sort of sentience, like a person. Can he?
If he can, he's probably too young right now.
That would make sense.
Because he's only been... I mean, he was this size since I found him, but it's only been about 3 years.
3 years. You say your family was killed in a dragon attack. What about your sister here? Is she related to you?
She is my sister. Me and her were the only ones that survived out of our family.
Does she know about this?
No.
You've kept it a secret for 3 years. You moved to the mainland.
What am I meant to say? Hi, this is my dragon. You know, those creatures that Karmora absolutely despises?
I am just amazed by your... I don't know, resourcefulness. Your ability to keep it hidden.
I've had people train me on keeping quiet in the wilds.
It isn't good enough, though,
No.
is it?
Considering you're here and the reason you're here, clearly not. I only stay because the only family I have left is my sister. Not to mention, where am I meant to go? You try telling somebody, "Hi, can I live here? Oh, I've got a pet. He's a dragon."
It certainly would be a request.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be.
Have you given him a name?
Yeah, I call him Kurz.
Curse.
Yeah. For those taking notes, that's Kers.
Mev looks to the dragon. Curse. Just kind of like calls him a little bit.
His eyes sort of like been wandering, like how a dog's tends to do when they're sort of lying down, but at the mention of this, you see his eyes sort of like snap directly to yours.
Hello.
Just continue staring.
She will take out one of her rations, one with, more protein than anything else, and she just slides it over.
Okay. It's hard to slide a ration over grass, so it's more of a case of you'd sort of like toss it.
Yep.
And you just sort of watch, like his eye tracks the ration before he sort of like snaps his head up and just bites out of midair. Just.
I don't think that any of us are familiar enough with your situation.
Can't imagine
The only
you
thing
are.
that I can think is your soul tide.
Must be one way then, since, he dies, I just feel a sense of loss. I shudder to think what would happen if I die.
Well, I can only theorize, but it could be that he is a special kind of dragon that I've never heard of, that he was originally a person, a spirit. But obviously your situation is very unique. I couldn't say.
Yeah, it's a situation, alright.
Has he shown to be aggressive to people for no reason?
Only when he thinks I'm in danger.
Makes sense. But do you have the capability to stop him?
He seems to do what I say.
But if you were in danger, could you stop him?
Probably not. I told him to run when I was attacked by wolves, and he kept fighting.
That's my main concern. If you do not have a full grasp on him, he's clearly young enough to not understand when it's time to fight. That could end up getting you both hurt, putting you in more danger than you already are.
I know.
I see no reason to tell anyone about this. I think either way we are going to go back and tell the officials that we did not find anything. But I'd prefer not to just leave you to your own devices either. With something this big, you need support.
What are you suggesting?
I suggest first we have a conversation with your sister, without him and with us present. You have not tried to ask your family for help, what little you have left. And though it might be hard, that is something that you need to try.
What's the second part?
Afterwards. And this may be something that my friends will question. But I hope they will have faith in me. I think you should come with us. At least temporarily. We provide good protection, and we could find some place where you have a home.
Place to call home.
That's right. And you won't owe us anything. I just don't feel good about leaving you to deal with something so great and have no one to support you.
She sort of looks down at Kurz. Well, you heard a little guy. What do you think? See Kurz sort of like stand up and still timidly sort of like walk up to you. He's even sitting down, like you are still a little bit taller than him. But he just sort of like looks, you like there in the eye with like one eye, then turns his head and looks with the other one.
He's inspecting me.
Yeah. Sort of like circles around you a few times. Before just walking back to Fur. And sort of like, almost like a cat, like rubs himself against Fur. Well, he seems to be on board, at the very least.
She smiles. I'm glad. And if you agree, then I don't think we'll have much trouble. Trust me. She stands up.
Sort of like lean, you see Fur sort of like kneel down, bring herself to, eye level with Curse. And this time she speaks, this time in common. Right, stay here. Don't move anywhere unless you see anything. We'll be back, okay? She'll see Curse like nod and sort of like nuzzle against the side of her cheek before going back to the hat and sort of like drinking a bit more from the water. First stands up. You can see her ears are a little bit more perked up now. They're still a bit droopy, but now they're much more like perked up. It's like, right, okay, let's head back to your group then.
Right.
I wasn't lying about the bow either, by the way. No, I was partially lying. I did have one, and Kurz bit it into two.
Seems like we should pick up some supplies, right?
Nah, it's fine. He knows that's not my kind of thing anyway. It's she like reaches back, so if like doesn't like draw it, but just like holds on to part of the spear. More comfortable with close range anyway.
Oh, those are one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's I always kind of thought, maybe if he got bigger, and like Curse was, not looked at with fear that this is stupid, but you know, like those horsemen with the lances.
Like the cavalier.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I thought, how scary would it be, like me riding atop curs with a lance just charging forward?
Oh, terrifying. People would weep in fear.
Yeah. Maybe if I find a proper home for us both. Maybe. Alright, let's keep going.
Nev nods and she heads back to the group.
Okay. Takes a couple of minutes, so just to check, during this time, does anyone in the rest of the party do anything?
I don't think so. No, I wouldn't want to have a mosey around in her tent and go through her things. It doesn't seem like a Aki thing to do. He'd probably just sat against sat on the ground up against one of the cartwheels and just sort of quietly waited until Fur and Mev came back.
Okay. Imagine not, maybe boring small talk, but nothing worth anything. Okay, alright. So after, in total, about 13, 14 minutes, Aki, you see movement coming from the forest, and you see the telltale, red mane that is Mevalair's hair, before they eventually come out of the forest into view. Fur now, without her leather cap, which I forgot to say, her hair's a very it's a very dark brown, sort of going just around to her shoulders, but it's very messy, helmet hair at the moment.
Aki, seeing the movement, will sort of clamber back to his feet, dust off, and start walking towards Fur and Mev.
Hello.
So I trust everything went well, did it?
Yeah, I could say that, yeah.
Yes.
Alright, excellent. How is your how is your dear companion? Fur.
He's fine, yeah. He's a little nervous, as I think I am as well. I don't know if that's just that thing you mentioned, Mev, or if it's just us both feeling the same thing. He's fine.
Well, I mean, it's to be expected, frankly, if you weren't somehow unnerved by the situation. It would be unusual. We're perfect strangers asking you to expose one of your most closely held secrets.
Yeah.
But so did anything? So Mevalair, did anything come of meeting from meeting the creature?
While you
Yes.
explain that to him, I'll just pack up what things I need. So
Right.
walks off to just a little bit off to where her stuff is.
She leads Aki to where Kindling and Havelock are.
Yeah.
So this situation is messy and complicated. I do not think it is within any of our expertise.
No. I have knowledge of dragons, but it is somewhat limited. I wouldn't call myself a luminary.
I only have the basics. They breathe whatever color they are, and some of them are smarter than others.
Likewise.
That's it. But
And that disposition seems to be controlled by whatever material or color makes up their scales. Yes.
all I can do is try to talk to it. Listen, Fur wasn't being entirely truthful, which isn't a surprise. She comes from a small coastal island off the mainland. And apparently, the large majority of her family was slaughtered by dragons. Well, I didn't get why she moved here. Apparently, ever since then, she's been followed by this dragon creature, Curse. At least that's what she calls him. And they seem to have some sort of special link. It reminds me of me and Valkyr. But
Interesting.
it seems as though Curse isn't just a spirit. He's more tangible. He's like a familiar, but not.
Strange. Tom, have I heard of like creatures being like soul, like a humanoid, like a soul, and like a creature being like soul bonded like this before?
Make a history check with disadvantage.
Okay.
You're sort of thinking in regards to a school which you probably wouldn't have been taught
Yeah.
too much. You weren't really taught much in the ways of potential arcane and stuff.
No,
you were more taught in
no.
regards to like nature and trading and such.
So history check with disadvantage.
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, bing. 8.
8. The closest you've heard of is people making pacts with things, but you've never heard of something just happening like that.
Oh. So the way she paints it are just families killed by dragons, and then a dragon is now bound to her side.
Yes, but it isn't like, this dragon hatched and the first thing that it saw was her, so it imprinted. The dragon has died before and come back. She can summon him and feels drawn to him. This is clearly spiritual, but not something that I'm familiar with.
Neither. Far beyond my knowledge, this.
And while I'm sure we have connections to people who know more, Karmora does not like draconic creatures. They are too dangerous. I do not feel safe giving people such as Olivia knowledge of this, as much as I trust her.
I'm inclined to agree. I fear known protection of a draconic creature would be an express trip to the gallows in this part of the world.
And
so
her sister does not know.
So us and the Telaria and her are the only folks who know this magic arrangement.
It seems like it, yes. And we should tell this captain that we didn't see anything, that it appears to be rumor.
I agree. Say Aiden was mistaken and we found nary a trace of anything unusual. That's simply a trick of the light, an effect of sleep deprivation. Yes, Yes, the authorities mustn't know about this in any situation. In fact, it's
And
few people must know about this.
I got Fur to agree to speak to her sister. It may be negative, but if Fur is going to leave, at least that's some kind of closure.
Of course.
She'll know if it's safe or not.
What do we know of Fur's sister? Would she betray us? Would she betray her flesh and blood?
I honestly don't know. It seems as though the way that Fur said it, she has a grudge against draconic creatures and has a right to.
I'm surprised. Surprised Fur doesn't. Surprised Fur doesn't see it as some sort of cruel joke from the universe.
I think she does. The way that she described it to me, she tried to get rid of him several times. And this care that they have for one another may not even be natural, or maybe it's bonded out of the fact that she can't get rid of him.
Indeed.
I understand, but this is something that she has to live with now. So,
Indeed.
we are going to... I said that we would assist her in speaking to her sister.
Indeed. And
give protection.
may I make a proposition? After our business in Sangan, we're venturing south into the Morag, yes?
That's right.
The most impenetrable and frankly, and the most where the eyes of the Zamahan are most blurred within the dense foliage. Yes.
And Mev smiles at you as if she already kind of knows what you're saying.
So how about Fur and the creature accompany us into the Morag and hopefully find something resembling stability within its confines. Perhaps any population within it may be the only spoken Karmora like to be sympathetic to the Draconic kind and perhaps have the knowledge.
Mev's smile is growing.
So I don't know if Kindling and Havelock and Marine would be in agreement, but I'm certainly in favor of adding 2 more members to our number.
It's funny you mentioned that. That's actually what I suggested to her. That she come with us. At least for now.
And how did you take it? I doubt the bonds of trust are built so quickly.
No, but I think she was comforted from my idea to find a place that she can stay, where she can have a home. It's clear she wants one. She doesn't want to run.
Who does?
Some people are just runners. Mev shrugs. But she is not one. And I think she feels touched that after she's been alone for so long that she can finally tell someone. I'm sure she's desperate for some sort of pillar.
Indeed, I imagine. I imagine the isolation of the situation has been a constant torment for her.
Yes.
So that being said, I suppose. Did you catch the creature's name?
Cutters.
That Kaz stays here as hidden as it can be, and then we make our preparations for leaving soon. Ideally within a day or so, and then we make for the Mirage and hopefully a new life for these two.
That's right. She thinks for a moment. If you have anything to do, she looks to Havelock and Kinley. She's like been waiting to see if they have any objections. But if they don't, she's going to continue. Okay. Our weapons are gonna get here in like a day or two, right?
Tomorrow, based on what
Tomorrow.
if what Ferrant said is correct.
Okay.
Which is why Marine would stay behind just in case it takes more than a day. You can go collect the weapons.
What time of day is it right now?
It's evening.
It's coming up to evening. You've got maybe a handful of hours of sun left.
Okay.
Would we make it back to town in time?
You'd make it partway there.
Okay. We are going to make it to the city late. The plan is that we go to the inn, get our rest, and then anything in the morning we grab. There will be no shopping for fun. Whatever you need, grab it immediately. We don't have time. And then when we are finally ready to leave, we will go meet with her sister. Depending on her reaction, we are going to have to leave immediately.
Indeed.
We do not want to give her any time to announce this to people.
So, delivering the news to First Sister should be the last thing we do.
That's right. And the second we do, when all is said and done, we leave. We get Curse, and we head down to the Mirage.
Alright. One fear does plague my mind, however. There's a window of time where I doubt we are the only individuals who saw that notice, but something tells me we may be one of the very few who would take such a sympathetic angle.
That's right.
But my only problem is we have a gap of time where an ill fate could befall dear Kurt. And with him, and with, I suppose, all of us in the city and him alone in the wilderness, there would be none to protect him if he does need protection.
I think that is the risk we're going to have to take. I think that if something were to happen to him, Fora would know. And as much as I don't like it, if he is hurt, she can bring him back. It isn't something that I want to do. But with how we are right now, there is nothing that we can do.
Just peculiar magic indeed.
Yeah,
Right.
Kinley?
To divert the course of life.
What are you doing, Kinley?
Currently typing, it appears.
Yeah.
Say your piece, Catman.
Oh, stretch. Role playing, it's hard work, guys. Okay.
For recognize,
I think-
for a spell, FUR is in the actual, like, fur.
I know what you mean, Kinling, but honestly, if she can, I don't think she knows how. It sounds like she's completely in the dark, and because of her hesitation, despite the amount of time, she hasn't really explored what this means, what her capabilities are.
Was she? Is there any other symptoms of this bond? Anything granted? Any curses or anything?
As far as I know, she can summon him, she can give him commands, and they are emotionally linked.
All right.
I don't know if she knows of her own capabilities. I certainly don't. But during our travels, I hope to assist her. I am so tied myself. I can at the very least help her with tapping into that connection.
Indeed.
And you, she
Who?
pokes Aki.
Yes.
You are a resident druid. You need to understand these creatures.
I
Get some
do.
books. Study.
It's a wondrous thing. It both puzzles and beguiles me. A creature that can control the flow of time, the flow of its own destiny in such a way. It is fascinating and
Aki,
yes.
get some books. Study up. Help her.
I have an inclination that perhaps in this environment that they wouldn't just have books on draconic anatomy and their ways of functioning in a society where they're so reviled.
A place that hunts dragons? Not having books on dragon anatomy and their disposition? You got to know what you're hunting for. Plus,
I suppose
maybe if you tap
manuals-
into a history book, you might find more cases like this.
All right.
She gives an impish grin, like, am I right?
What's our window of time?
At the most, a day.
All right. Well, I suppose I'm off to the bookshops and the houses of academia. Speaking of, did he seem hurt or malnourished or? in any way harmed by his time in the wilderness?
Besides being covered in mud, which I think was a camouflage, not really, though she did say that he was dehydrated.
I suppose it's lucky we have that. We have that enchanted jar, then, isn't it?
Yes. Also, I already gave him some water. That will tie him over for at least a little bit.
All right, excellent.
Again, not ideal, but we're
Better
taking
than-
what we could get.
Indeed, more preferable than the absence of it.
Yes.
Well, then I suppose the Telaria have something of a rescue mission on the books. I suppose we should be heading back to Sangan post haste then.
Right. And, Mev will look over to see how Fur is doing.
You actually see during this conversation that she's actually sort of on the other side of the cart, just sort of like leaning against it, just patiently waiting.
Ah! Oh, you got the ready so quickly.
Yeah, I travel light.
Makes sense. I got to move quick.
Mhm.
And, Mev hops into the cart and she holds out her hand. Come on, you're part of the Telaria now.
Telaria, huh? That's her name.
That's right.
So, like,
Um,
reaches up and holds onto your hand, which is, again, given that she's a small goblin, is quite small in your tiny hand.
Yeah, she will help her up. I'm never there, by the way. I don't think we caught names.
I overheard when you guys were talking.
Then, that's Aki or, a Chris, whatever. Oh, Aventore. Yes, I did it.
My word.
I'll stick with
and
Aki.
that's Havelock, and she actually goes to point at Havelock and then decides that she's going to essentially pull his hair a little bit to get him to actually pay attention.
What the fuck do you want? I'm paying attention.
He has obnoxiously long hair like me. And then she looks over to Kinling, and that's Kinling.
He has obnoxiously long fur.
Yeah, I'm
not
looking here.
exactly.
It seems like long hair appears to be sort of a trait within this group, barring Aki here.
Listen, I'm going to get it chopped. So,
Indeed, and I am barred from ever raising a blade to my hair for some considerable time.
You don't wear
we have a little thing going.
you don't wear like hats, do you?
Me or him?
Either one. Well, I guess more him now at this point.
Oh well, I don't really have the face for it, and I don't know. I don't really like them. Flattens the hair.
It really
I love
doesn't.
those big ones with the feather.
Well, that's fine. But if you wear any like I was wearing, don't. It's a pain in the ass trying to get the mess out. So tugs at her own hair, and you can sort of see her fingers get caught a few times.
Oh, I can help with that. I have a ton of hair stuff.
Oh, good. It's been haven't had that at all ever.
Oh, it's the vine drake. Yeah, some of your fur's fucked up.
It's
Oh,
a decent chunk of it started to grow at this point. It's a slightly lighter
it's
shade.
it's still kind of apparent that there's fur missing in places. Ever seen a shaped cat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not gonna lie, overheard a few bits here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Any
Moraga.
questions? Yep. Aki's trying to find druids there.
Indeed.
And what, are you just gonna walk around there until you find something?
Kind of. We're trying to find them, maybe track them, and oh look, we have a tracker. Perfect.
I've only been in the Morag once or twice myself. Never went too far. Too dangerous.
Well, you know the beginning area, which is more than we know.
Yeah, if that's the case, you want some advice, ditch the cart and horse. It ain't gonna work.
Good to know. I think we'll be good to go on foot, though. Sad to leave it.
I suppose. How far away is? No, how far away is Sangan to the Morag?
About a day or two travel.
On foot.
I mean, the rate that you've been going on, like horse and regular, has still just been like a regular walking pace.
Okay.
I mean, if you need a place to offload them, then as long as my sister doesn't hate me, she'll probably take them in till you get your stuff sorted.
True.
Well, I guess we'll find out, and if not, I suppose we can ask someone, hey, you want the cart and horse?
I might know a few people, but let's go with my sister first and foremost.
Right.
All right.
Oh, we do have one more member, but he is not currently here. Marine. He is the big metal guy.
Yes. Permanent smells of seaweed and.
So he's an automaton, yeah? Like the ones that they got at the Iron Forge?
Indeed.
I think so. I'm not really familiar with, the mechanical things.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it's just that in Sangan there is a place called the Iron Forge. It's sort of where it's sort of alongside the iron carts. They use them a lot for stuff that come in from the mines.
Ooh. Mev nods, just taking this bit of information in. It's interesting to hear how Warforge and automatons, which are different, have kind of been brought in and used when I don't think that Celestine is very common here, and that's typically what they run on, right?
As far as okay, this is technically an out of a character thing.
Yeah, this is out of character.
The more it's not entirely uncommon for Warforged to not be made with Celestine, but the most efficient ones have Celestine cores.
Okay.
It's kind of akin to the airships. There are airships out there that don't run on Celestine. They run on elemental crystals and such. With the automatons or with certain Warforged, they are the same of it. In addition, before Pterodons, there was a lot of Warforged that was built, and there was quite a large amount of Celestine stocked up. It's just that obviously now that the resource coming in is far, far less than it used to be before Pterodon.
Then I guess I have one more question.
Yes.
Are the ones with Celestine the only ones that can gain sentience?
No, but
No.
it is far more common for Celestine cores Warforged to gain sentience.
Okay. That's still interesting, though, to know that there's, a labor force here made entirely of them. But yeah, he is currently waiting back for us.
Right, okay. Look forward to meeting him then, I guess.
Yes. She looks to Aki. Come on, you're the one that understands how to drive these things.
The thing being a horse.
Listen, horses are not common where I am from.
What about seahorses?
Seahorses are not the same thing as horses.
They have the same name, don't they?
That is
I don't think
because
he's ever seen
their
one.
right. Their faces are shaped like horses, but like they're really small and the rest of their body is not like a horse.
I'm just being glib for the sake of glibness. Right. So, do we have time to make it back to Sangan before nightfall?
Nope. We're going to get there around midnight. I think
All right,
so.
then. All right. I'll see how it goes. And yeah, I'll take up the reins. Make sure I'm in the driver's seat. Take up the reins and yeah, and then sort of and say, right, is everyone aboard?
Mev starts doing a quick head count just in case. Yeah, I think everyone's here.
Superb. All right. Back to Sangan then, and he will
To Sangan!
whip the reins to make Crispy go, and he starts heading down the roads back towards Sangan.
Okay.
You say Sangan.
Sangan.
Yeah, Sangan.
Sangan. What?
That's what you say. You say Sangan.
How are you supposed to say it?
Sangan.
Sangan.
Soft A, not sharp A. Yeah.
Sangan. Sorry. Sangan.
I mean, I kind of
Hello?
figured that it was part of Aki's accent in the first place.
No, it's just me being British.
I'm British too!
I know. Maybe an idiot, I guess. Sangan.
Oh, check this one out.
Banana.
I've been saying I'm not British.
I'm from Britland. Yeah.
Britland.
You've never heard Britland?
Yeah, we're
I've never
proper
heard
Britland
Britland.
now, aren't we?
Oh, that's good.
I have
Alright.
I have too much fun trying to do like Warhammer Orc voice stuff. I'm the biggest orc around, and this is my warg. Anyway,
Freaking.
Hero beast.
Bird sort of like is looking at you, Mev. As so moves like, what is this about seahorses, huh?
Oh, I guess you don't know. She gestures to her and Havelock. We live on the sea, and so we see a lot of like strange sea creatures. They're like really tiny, kind of golden color usually. They've got like the face of little baby horses with like really fat teeny bodies, and like they have this tail. And she actually takes out like a piece of fucking Aki paper, because of course it's Aki's and like the writing utensils, so she starts to draw, which we've already established Mev's actually a pretty good artist.
Mm-hmm.
She starts drawing it. They have this fat curly tail that they use to swim. They like propel themselves.
How well can you draw in the back of a bumpy cart?
I'm sure that it's a little messy, but Mev's pretty talented.
Fur is
It-
I mean,
it
if
looks
she's been
a
drawing
little
out at
wobbly,
sea.
but-
Fur
Yeah,
is just staring
she's been drawing at
intensely.
sea.
Yeah, Fur is just looking intensely at the drawing.
Isn't it cute?
I want to see one. It looks adorable. I want to see one in person.
That's pretty far
Actually-
out.
I
Hmm?
could do that.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
We just may or may not need to buy some things in town, which is fine. I needed to get them anyways.
Havelock can do magic.
You can do magic too?
Yeah. Would you like to meet my little friend?
You've got a friend as well?
Yeah, you're gonna love him. He's real great. Daz!
I forget.
You're
No,
removing
Dars
him.
had been summoned, yeah, so you just saw it make him reappear.
Yeah, he's just been chilling as a spider in the hair.
Yeah. So you see sort of like Havelock's hair sort of fluff up a little bit, and yeah, you just see like it shakes a bit before a little imp head sticks out. So it looks around, looks down at first like, hello.
Oh, Dawes is back. Hello, Dawes.
All right.
In here.
Is that a fucking imp?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and I'd prefer you just say imp, not fucking imp. Not implying anything, but
Sure, if we leave you alone, you'll probably fucking something.
yeah, but like, you know.
Yeah. I feel like a fucking imp is like a very specific kind of imp.
An incubus or succubus in training, clearly.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh. I don't know. Maybe that's what Dawes wants to be when he grows up. We don't get
Oh
to tell
my
him.
god.
Yeah, you don't know.
Incubus. I love that. Fucking.
That's terrifying and also really cool, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Aw, you don't have to be afraid of him. He's good.
Kinda have to be.
I'm not scared at all of you.
Well, down the line, I guess I can show you guys my friend. Obviously, Merv's acquainted with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, looks back towards the clearing, towards the forest. Yeah, I'll show him to you guys once we leave.
It would be an honor.
Just don't make any sort of moves around him. He's very protective of me.
Of course.
He's squirmy. I'm not sure if that is the right word. Skittish.
Skittish, yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Yes, that's what it is. I knew it started with an S.
So you talk? No, he doesn't talk. At least, I assume not yet. Maybe when he gets older.
Is it, like, not safe for him to be around?
No, he hasn't been aggressive to anybody or anything, unless I've been in danger. Then he's aggressive to the thing that's trying to kill me.
Yes, I think something that we are all going to have to understand about this arrangement is that it's going to be up to us to kind of socialize Cutters too. As much as this is Cutters' responsibility, we're going to be their companions for a while. He hasn't had anyone else to really get to know or trust. It's going to be up to us.
I'm sure we'll be fine. Hopefully if he grows on you guys as well, and he starts trusting you, then hopefully that'll put me a bit of ease. You're going off course, by the way, Aki.
Sorry, what?
The pathway to the left, it's faster.
Are you sure? This is the way we came, and it was fast enough.
I'm sorry, who's lived here most of their life?
Get fucked, nerd.
Yeah, and Aki sort of shrugs and then just sort of like leads Crispy down the path. Fur pointed out.
Okay.
Fodder,
Yeah.
When you're far away like this, do you still feel that connection?
Kind of. It's
Mm,
hard to explain. Think of it like an itch, basically. You can't scratch. It's kind of like that, but it's sort of like me to be near him.
uh-huh.
But it's not like I know where he is. I know where he is, obviously, because I told him to stay there, but, like, if you were to say, like, oh, pinpoint him, I would have no idea.
You don't know where he is.
Obviously, as I say, I know where he is. He's in that forest. I told him to stay there, but I mean, like, if he were to
no,
move, I wouldn't know.
I am just surprised. It's different from me.
She looked very confused at that statement.
I have a partner myself, though not the same as Havelock. And with me, I feel his whole body, every movement he makes, where he is, and vice versa. We're essentially the same person.
She struggles to try and find the words, and you sort of see, like, she tries for like a minute or so before she just gives up on trying to find a way to express that. But I mean, you don't even need to do an insight check. She's confused as hell. Like, you can tell it's like a million questions running through her head, and she's just sort of like, yeah, essentially in an analysis paralysis.
Yeah. Here. And Mev's going to summon Valkyr into the cart.
Okay. Whereabouts into the cart?
Just sitting across from her.
Yeah. So you watch. I would say Kinlan's probably sitting across from you. Watch as Kinlan's shadow sort of like stretch out a bit onto the seat before it sort of like rises up as the large burly form of Valkyr. And first just like looking at you, and before she like looks around, it's like, what? Hello there, Fur.
Fur. This is Valkyr.
The big shadowy man, yeah?
Yup. This is Valkyr.
Look, I don't want to sound like a bitch and all, but like, you feel like you are the same? There's clearly a very big size difference between the two of you.
Oh, ha. He's a different spirit. He's... You know those, like, twins that come out conjoined?
So this is kind of like your twin, but conjoined like via the soul.
Yes.
Okay. Still confused as hell. That makes a bit more sense at the very least.
That is why I kind of said that Curse might be a spirit of someone you know. Valkyr and I are... I know at the very least related, but I'm not sure how.
I don't think I'm related to Kurz in any way.
I was more so thinking that their spirit took some sort of different shape based on you. But, that's purely my speculation.
Yeah.
A theory.
God, he's tall.
But yes. Yes, he's very tall. I wish I was that tall. I don't know why I'm not. She stares at Valkyr for a time. But,
I don't know why you keep staring at me. I have no control over your body forms.
Well, you know, if there is some sort of relation to us, I just feel like I should be taller.
And if I still could recall how the people I knew were, I would be able to tell you if that's true or not. He's been saying this entirely in your head, by the way, so you just can't just been staring at each other. I mean, for what it's worth, Mev, you know, with me as a baseline, you're a giant to me.
Oh, you're so sweet. But, yes, Valkyr and I, can feel each other, or any injuries we get, our woes, even, you know, what we are thinking in that moment, our instincts. We align with one another.
Huh.
It's dizzying sometimes, having so many thoughts.
I can imagine. Not even me and Kerr have that kind of feeling.
Well, you obviously have some sort of attachment.
Yeah, clearly.
I'm hoping that I can assist with that at the very least.
We'll see. We'll see. And you see there is sort of like a drooped again when Valkyrie had shown up, and they've just sort of like slowly started perking back up as the conversation's been going on. You get the feeling that the state of her ears depends on her emotion.
Yeah, it's cute. She gives Fur a big smile. Why don't I show you some more cutesy creatures?
Sure.
We've got the long trip.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, I'm going to show you a blobfish. And I think we can transition
Yeah,
from there.
I think from there we'll take a small break.
Yeah.
How are you going to show her a blobfish?
So, given the journey that you're making back to Sangan and the length of it and everything, I'd like someone to roll a d10.
Not me. I'm going to grab my coffee real quick because I forgot to grab it.
Go grab your coffee.
One of the mutes can do it.
Kindling has agreed. Okay. Alright. Checking on here. Alrighty. So. Thankfully, nothing appears to harry you or hinder you during your ride back, though it does get a little bit more difficult to see.
Alright, I have coffee.
Yay, coffee. As it starts to get particularly dark, Fur sort of like moves over to the front, sort of like leans over and it's like, hey, does your horse see in the dark?
It's not some kind of magical horse, if that's what you're asking. It's just a regular, bog standard, fresh from the farm horse.
Right, okay. Slow down a little bit. Last thing I want to do is get trampled by the cart. She, as you sort of like slow down, she sort of like, like leans forward and just like pats Crispy on the flank and mutters some arcane words before leaning back. Right, okay, that should do him.
What did you just do?
Give him the ability to see in the dark for a bit.
Thank you very much. That's very, very helpful.
Yeah, see, he's not going to have the best vision still. I'm not a miracle worker here, but
No one you expected.
yeah.
It's better than what we can do.
And she
Much,
just
really.
quickly moves herself over back to the back of the cart and just sits back down.
Seeing in the dark?
His name's
Who can do that?
I believe I can.
Shut up. Want to hear anything from you, fucking Cyclops?
No,
I can see.
I have blind fighting now, bitch.
Oh, yeah.
I
Right.
win. 10 feet.
That's not dark vision, though. That's blind sight.
True. But I also have Dawes.
Hello.
You have a seeing eye imp.
I have a seeing eye imp. I have a spooky eye patch. I can fight in the dark.
Aki's just got dark vision and then just the best senses in the world.
I don't know why, but I can just imagine if Havelock ever loses the eye patch, he just grabs Dawes and ties him round his head.
Just covering one eye.
No, just he can't see anything because he doesn't have his eye patch anymore. So just grabs Dawes, ties him on his face so that Dawes' eyes are level with Havelock's, and then just looks through.
Oh my god.
That would be adorable.
Dawes would be pissed. And would almost certainly try and break free of that.
Everything.
Just fucking glues him to his face.
Sovereign glue. Haha, now you can no longer get out of here. Eventually, however, through the travels, you are able to find the large brazens that illuminate the walls of Sangan. I assume you're heading through the Reed District?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna head to the tavern, so yeah. The not tavern. The brothel?
Oh, so you're going to the Impure Waters?
I mean, it is the middle of the night. We need some sleep.
Yep.
Yeah, and not that kind of sleep.
We're going home.
And we did buy rooms for a couple days, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's first day?
Do you ask her?
Yeah. I'll sort of say, I'll go to Fer and say, where you're staying these days, we can drop you by your front door.
Well, I stay with my sister in the Hole in the Bucket.
All right.
Do you want to stay there tonight?
I don't know.
We're staying into the what's it called again? The impure.
The Impure Waters.
The impure waters. Yes. By all accounts, they should have plenty of beds. So if you want to stay there.
Nah. I'll go. I'll go to the Hole in the Bucket. If I'm going to be leaving, I might as well spend as much time as I've got, near my sister. Then, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Meet us over here in the morning. We'll have some breakfast ready for you.
The Impure Waters, they don't serve breakfast.
No, but I bought out a bakery for a little while.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I'll. Okay. Tomorrow morning then. Got it.
We are just the worst.
We're terrible. We're kind of nice people, but but still thunderous dicks.
We are the obnoxiously rich friend where someone goes oh, I don't have the time anymore. My phone broke and everything. And we just drop an Apple Watch in their hand. Here.
Pretty much.
I have 50. You can have this one.
Yeah.
And they're
We
what?
become fallows.
Yeah. It's just It's just like I have nowhere to go. I'm gonna get evicted from my apartment, and because oh yeah, we got a holiday house in the Cotswolds. But you can stay there if you like. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Right, I'll see you tomorrow then. She just sort of jumps off the back of the cart, sort of like, adjusts the pack on her back and starts heading towards the hole in the bucket.
Right. Get some rest and keep a low profile.
Alrighty. So I assume then you all return to the impure waters?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So
That's
you return to the impure waters, you place Crispy in the stables, and you enter in. You can see Marine is there still, just kind of sitting at a table. And he notices you.
Marine.
Hello.
Hello, Marine. How are things back here? I hope you weren't too lonely.
It was fine. I had some conversation with somebody.
Somebody?
Yes, it's nothing particular. Just a conversation about something I was looking into myself. He sort of nudges the necklace that he's got.
Oh,
All right.
right. Well, we've got a new member.
Yes, we do.
Really?
Her name is Fur. She's a hunter. And, yeah, that is all we can say for now.
Indeed, she'll be accompanying us on our journey as far as Sangan, and then from then on we'll have to see.
Okay.
Any luck with the Archmage?
I was able to have small conversation, but she wouldn't let me talk proper since the weapons aren't here yet.
I guess you'll get your conversation tomorrow then.
It would seem so,
Hopefully.
yes.
Well, we've got a long day ahead of us. We should all rest up.
Indeed. We're planning to be gone from Sangan tomorrow morning, or the morning before. The morning.
Probably somewhere in the afternoon.
Right. So if you have any dealings, anything, any strings that need tying and any loose ends, you get that done now, Marine.
I've already tied up all the loose ends I need, barring one, but that can be dealt with tomorrow.
Right.
Superb.
Right.
I was gonna head upstairs, but she looks to Havelock. Can I speak to you?
Sure. Go ahead.
Come on. She heads upstairs.
It's a private talk. See you guys later.
Luck be with you.
The wife wants to nag me.
Havelock follows her up. What is it this time?
She enters their room and waits for Havelock to get in before, shutting the door. I need you to be... You need to stay on track, Havelock.
What are you talking about? I am staying on track, aren't I? I mean, still with the group.
I mean... need to have focus, a goal. You really distracted things today. And well, that's fine, you know. It's not like I don't like fun. I need to be able to rely on you, you know?
We got done what we needed to get done, didn't we?
We got it done because I had to bulldoze my way through it. Alone.
Fine.
All I'm saying is that, you know, when I'm trying to do this stuff, I want you to be my partner. It isn't really all that fun when I'm doing it by myself and, you know, you're goofing off somewhere. I thought, you know, we were supposed to be crewmates.
I mean, yeah, we are. Just sometimes you get too focused on something, you know?
I know. I don't like staying still. You know?
And
And having a goal or a purpose makes me feel better. Not having one or just messing around makes me nervous.
I think you need to work on those nerves. You can't always be doing something.
If I'm not doing something, then what was the point of coming out here?
To enjoy yourself, to be in good company.
But I need to show that it was worth it.
Are you not having a good time? Do you
Of
feel like
course
it's been a waste?
Of course I'm having a good time. I don't think it's entirely been a waste, but you know, I want to make something of myself. I want to prove that I'm capable. I left a lot. And if it's for no reason or if the things that I have to show aren't enough, then there was no point. I hurt people for nothing.
You didn't do it for nothing. You clearly wanted to get away. Why does it seem to matter so much that you have to prove yourself? You're alive. You have a crew here. You're doing things. But they don't have to be constant. You can't always have wind in your sails. Sometimes you just have to ride out the waves. You know that.
I just Mev looks like she doesn't know how to what to say, because you're right, that's something that Mev preaches to people all the time.
I mean, if you really desperately need something to do, we can just order you to rest. I'll sit on you for the entire cart ride so you can't do anything. I'm sure Kindling will sit on you too.
Very funny. I just...
Might be necessary with the way you keep talking.
I can rest. It's not like I don't know how to have fun. You've seen me have fun.
It's not fun here. It's not doing anything.
She gives you this look of like you're being petulant.
Yeah.
It's I get it, okay? I'll just I don't know. I just feel bad.
You know, one of the things that a couple of crewmates of mine used to tell me is that if I didn't stop doing shit, then I'm gonna have an invisible dolphin try to bite me.
An invisible dolphin.
Yeah. An invisible dolphin.
Oof. What am I, 6?
You're about the size of a 6-year-old.
Not funny.
Very funny.
Ugh. I don't get your point.
Well, if you keep acting like this, you're gonna get bit by an invisible dolphin. He's gonna start with your toes. Go for your fingers, too.
There is... Havelock.
Yes, Mevler.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
And I'm trying to give you a little bit of advice.
Your advice feels more like mocking.
I'm not even making fun of your voice this time. I am not mocking you.
You're talking about an invisible dolphin.
Yes.
Is it a metaphor? It
No.
doesn't sound like a metaphor. It sounds like you think that's an actual invisible dolphin. Why am I talking about this? She throws her hands up in exasperation, just like turns away from you.
Just be careful. They can come for you on land.
She whips herself back around. There is no invisible dolphin.
Oh, there is an invisible dolphin. Just you wait. Or
Ugh.
don't. They'll come faster that way.
Okay, obviously, this is not the conversation that you want to have. That's fine. Don't know why, because I'm the one under fire, but you know.
Again, I think this is a very good conversation. You are just not listening to your elders. Children these days.
Okay, he's obviously mocking her. He's probably like smiling away, isn't he?
He is smiling, but he's not actually mocking her. He's just speaking.
She flops down on the bed, just exasperated by Havelock. Because this isn't very helpful.
So, I'm gonna get Aki's pen and paper and stuff. And I want you to write out for me what you want me to pick up from the market for you tomorrow. Because you are going to stay here.
Stay here? We have so much to do.
Do we?
Yes, you know, we have to pick up supplies to go to the Morag, and we have to get our weapons. We have to prepare fur, and then we have to, you know, confront our sister, which may turn violent. We have to be ready and make sure that things don't go wrong. This is extremely important, and someone is counting on us.
Then stay to the side, plan. Let me and the other guys handle getting the supplies.
What, do you want me to just, like, sit here and eat pastries with fur?
Yeah. Keeping an eye on her is important. You can brief her into what this party's about. Or do you think that, you know, taking care of your newest crew member isn't important enough for you?
That is not what I'm saying.
It kind of sounds like it when you're saying, what, do you want me to just sit here and eat pastries? That is what you had just said. Is it
Fine,
not?
I will stay here with Fur. I will stay here and I will sit and I will brief her on what we do. Okay? Does that make you happy?
It does. It's a small mission, but it's an important one.
You are a pest.
Thank you.
I came here to lecture you. What even happened?
You decided to be a little witch.
I think
you
you
had the
missed
table
the
turned.
bee. This isn't fair. You were
Oh, it's
still in
very
the wrong.
I don't know.
Yes, because you didn't consider my feelings. That's not very nice.
You also have a stick up your ass a good 99% of the time.
I wouldn't call it a stick.
That's right, it's a spear.
Yes.
It's a glaive.
Mev can't help but crack a smile at that. She looks annoyed, but that was funny. I am just intensely motivated.
Hug it out, you little brat. And Havelock's got his arms open for a hug.
She gives you this mocking sneer. And she will hold out her arms. Fine, whatever.
As you're given the hug, he assaults your sides with tickling.
No. She quickly grabs your wrists and just pulls them away.
Daz,
Do
attack!
Do that. Daz.
He's sort of looks at the two. It's I'm just gonna see how they.
You are my familiar, Daz. This is a command.
You are my friend.
He's only still alive here because of me.
Not true. I convinced you to keep him.
Do you think I would have gotten rid of him?
Probably not, but you would be a lot meaner.
I would not.
Also, Daz.
Yeah.
Boob snuggles.
Both of you roll a persuasion check. or in Havelock's case, it can be intimidation.
Can I get advantage?
I mean...
Can you beat a
Holy
24
shit.
at all?
In my persuasion? I'd have to get a 22. No, I can't.
I'm gonna roll to see if you get advantage. Nope, straight roll.
Straight roll. I mean, I can't even beat it. But I can hope that I roll high enough to just make him sit out.
He sort of flies down to one of your hands and is just gonna... 1 second. I need to quickly check the strength stat of an imp.
Watch, he's gonna fucking stab me with a stinger, poison me.
No, he just grabs one of your fingers and tries to... That's gonna be great. And just tries to pull your hand off Havelock. No, that is a... What's that? That's cocked, actually. Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's a, That's a 0.
Oh.
Wow.
2 minus 2 is 0. So he just kind of
Wow.
pulls... He's very, half-heartedly, like trying
Yeah.
to do it. He like gives it a few tugs. He's there like, I'm gonna see how the others are doing, and just flies away.
You traitor.
You're coming back as a fucking mouse.
Whatever. As he just leaves through, going invisible as he does so.
Maybe I'll make him a flea.
Meva looks at you, Havelock. This is quite the position to be in, though.
What do you want out of it?
You think I want something?
You said it was quite the position to be in. Usually you want something out of that.
No. You were mean to me today. She gently pushes you away.
Yeah? I still seem to remember giving you affection as you've been mean to me.
Let's be honest, we kiss and make up all the time.
Rose, you guys.
So you do want the smooch.
I wouldn't mind a little make out.
Alright, get over there. I'll lock the door.
Okay, so
Amazing.
the morrow comes to you all.
The guys aren't gonna do anything. They aren't gonna have a cute makeout session. Wow.
I mean, do they want to?
Well, a cute makeout session, like, specifically.
That was
No,
the
just
question.
like if there's anything you guys want to do.
Yeah.
I'm teasing.
I'm okay. I think. Aki's probably just gonna be being stressed about tomorrow.
And all shit you guys have to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got time and the dogs aren't being annoying, so we can keep going to the morrow. So, you arrive down relatively later into the day, given that you arrived back in Sangan around midnight. Marine is already there, obviously. And actually sitting next to him, looking a bit timid still, you can see is Fur.
Fur, good morning.
Hi, this is Marine, yeah, the one you were on about? He says Marine, but, you know.
Oh no, I've never seen this person in my life.
Oh, I am so sorry, sir.
How long has he been there?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Fur.
Right, okay. Oof. Right.
This is Marine.
Hello, we've been talking.
Oh, man, could you imagine if you were just talking to a stranger?
Yeah, or, you know, letting a few secrets out here and there. I didn't, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, okay. She goes to sit by Fur. Okay, so we did vaguely brief Marine, and obviously we can't really do it here. But, does everyone have their lists, their plans?
Indeed, yes.
So what's the plan then?
Well, people are going to go around for, supplies and the like. Obviously I can take you wherever you need to go. They're going to meet up with the Archmage to get some weapons. I imagine Fur's face, like, her eyeballs are just wide. And then, honestly, I'm debating on if we talk to the captain. If we're just leaving,
Maybe they'd assume we'd been killed.
not even that necessarily. More so, if we're leaving, if we don't cause a fuss, there's no need for speculation. They may just think, oh, we didn't find anything, and therefore we just didn't show up.
But wouldn't it
I
be more
suppose.
suspicious if we didn't report that we didn't find anything and just left? That'd look like we got scared of something.
Suppose it depends on the person. I don't really understand the captain.
Is
You know what might work?
you mean the Knoll? You mean him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
He I may have gotten in trouble a few times, and he's sort of been the one I've seen a few times. He's thorough, very thorough. But he's also strapped for people, basically. It's the reason why the whole thing for the Draconic thing was probably advertised on a notice board. They don't have the soldiers to go out and look. Obviously, if something turns out to be a big threat, then they'll do something about it. But they mostly stay internal.
Wait. Marine,
Yes.
could you go to the captain and tell them that we didn't find anything?
I can, but I do wish to speak with the Archmage.
I realize this.
I mean, I could go. I could say I came back recently and didn't see anything. No?
We definitely don't want to involve you. The reason, she leans into Fern and actually whispers this. The reason I'm asking Marine is because Marine doesn't know yet. They have the most likelihood of being believable.
Right, okay, gotcha.
She, looks back to Marine. I assure you, you will see the Archmage. Everyone else can go on their shopping trips first while you tell him, and then, you guys can meet up back here.
Very well.
And what exactly are you doing, Mevela?
I will be assisting Fur, getting her up to speed on, who we are, why we're here, some of our goals, see if she needs to grab anything. If you haven't gotten stuff from your home, then I guess I'll help you pack too.
I'll save that for when I have the conversation with my sister.
I just worry that there may not be time when you do that.
I have a habit of traveling light anyway. I would essentially just need to grab
All
my
right.
bag and a few keepsakes to remind me of, my family. It should only take a minute.
Right.
You know that one thing I said about what I would kind of hope to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I'd really like to see if the Iron Forge has lances.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Mev smiles, like, obviously a fan.
Yeah. Beyond that, I mean, I guess if everyone else is just getting the supplies, then I guess I not actually need anything else beyond that. I might want to go for just a walk around the city, just a little bit of a goodbye walk.
Alright. I'm just essentially kind of your security right now.
Okay, alright. Sure.
I can also, she looks around to just kind of like think about it. She looks to Aki. And Aki, you feel that familiar kind of almost staticky snap of Mev connecting to you.
Right.
I can, if anything happens, I can inform Aki.
Indeed, yes.
He's, his mind is very, very strong.
Indeed, yes. That's the word for it, yes.
Right, okay.
There's so much that we just say, and she's like, okay.
Yeah, she's...
Yeah.
Again, you don't even need to do an insight, whereas, like, she has no idea what you're referring to or meaning, but she's trusting you.
Yup. Don't worry. It's just kind of a psychic thing.
Wow, okay. Psychic, okay, that's, That just seems just weird, it's all, you know? Like
What are weird people?
So I can tell.
Yep. I think it's sinking in that, like, oh god, these people are really weird. I'm one of them.
Make an insight check.
I'm one of these weird people.
8.
Oh, 8.
Hard to tell. There seems to be a lot of emotions running through her right now.
My fucking rolls have...
It's always
Not
your
been
insight.
bad,
It's always
but,
your insight
like-
rolls.
Yeah, they've been just really middling.
Like you roll really good, and then the second you get to an insight roll, nope.
Yep.
I don't know if you can hear my dogs are starting to be whiny.
Alright. So, everyone's got their missions, and, when we're all done, we meet back here and go talk to her sister. Ready?
Yeah, let's go, team. Do you guys even?
Go team!
Okay, I guess that's what we say then. Got it.
Woo!
It's not, but just humor her.
Okay. All right.
Oh, come on, have some spirit.
Go team.
Go Telaria, go!
Yes,
Maybe we work on our like team go do stuff thing.
Team chant.
Yeah, there.
It's okay. We'll work on it together.
Okay, yeah. All right. And as I
Can we
say,
get to work?
well, unfortunately, as I say, my dogs are starting to be whiny, and they'll just start whining more and more till I feed them. So unfortunately, we have to end the session at this point. But it seems
That
like
is
a good.
A-okay.
It seems like a good spot to do it because I mean, shopping usually does take a while, regardless.
Yeah, this will be a good point.